Hello, lovers of lore.
We are back. We are back.
We are back. Welcome back to episode 5 of Arcane.
Which means that we're over halfway through now because this has 9 episodes in total.
9 episodes.
And I love the number 9 because it's 3 threes in one number. 3 times 3.
You like square numbers, huh?
No, it's not the square number. Well, 3 is like associated.
16?
3 is like associated with like witches and like women power because maiden mother crone. And then within 9 there are 3 threes. So it's
down the road.
Number 9.
Maiden mother crone. I know witch things.
Yeah.
So it's episode 5. Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Michael's enemy specifically, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know why. I like to think I'm quite nice in like a not toxic way.
Not
like
a nice guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Not a nice guy, but like a nicer guy.
Not that either.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? Not everyone's gonna like you. You're bound to make some enemies.
That's true. If you're trying to please everybody, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Yeah,
but episode 5, everybody wants to be my enemy. Ari, do you want to take us through?
Yeah, of course. Well, I better, because that's why we're here. So,
yeah.
Yes, I do. Everybody wants to be my enemy. That is the name of this episode. We even get a little live performance of the song in this episode.
Well, live.
The band is in universe. It is very cool.
It's pretty cool.
So this episode opens. We're in like this foggy forest. Young Caitlyn is like, it's like a target practice, like competition, right? Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I think so.
Target competition.
It seems like some kind of big event.
If you can tell, I have like never shot guns, and that's going to be very evident by how I speak about this specifically. I've literally like never even like held a gun. Yeah. So there's this competition.
And you call yourself an American.
Yeah, I know. Proud to be an American that is not like used to handling a rifle. Yeah. But she's killing it. It's her and Grayson. Those are like the only people that we see. I don't know if there is anyone involved, but we don't, if there are, we don't see them. So
they've made it to the final or whatever.
As far as we're concerned, it's her versus Grayson. She sees Grayson and realizes this is the person that she's competing against. Yeah. But that doesn't slow her down at all. Nope. She's just like trying to stay as focused as she can. In the final target, whatever one is like the one that wins you the championship.
Because they seem color-coded in some way.
Yeah, well, the last one is like red, wasn't it? So, but the one that like awards you the trophy, she gets it perfectly, like hits it like right through the middle. And then she looks to the side and Grayson was holding her shot. So then Caitlyn's a little bit like, oh, hey, hold on. So then we cut, we're at the Kierman's mansion.
Of course, one of the many.
Yeah. There's some like lavish party. I don't know if this is for Caitlyn winning the championship or if they were just already having this party. Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, it was for the end of the events. Celebrating whoever the champion was.
Yeah. So basically we see the shot of Caitlyn. She has her little trophy with like first place ribbon on it. And then she goes and confronts Grayson and asks if her parents paid Grayson to lose, to like let her win. And Grayson was like, that's a really serious accusation. What do you mean? And Caitlyn's like, just be honest. Just tell me if they did it. And she's like, no, I didn't let you in. I thought.
Is that something they've done in the past?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can tell, even with young Caitlyn, she wants to earn it. Like she wants to earn it on her own. She doesn't want anything handed to her. I think she probably is a little resentful maybe of that having happened. Like if they have paid people to like get her ahead or something. I don't think that I think her parents are fine with it, but Caitlyn does not want that.
Yeah, like, she wants to stand on her own 2 feet. But to be fair, it's a lot easier to have that perspective when
you have privilege.
When you
and
not just privilege, like the upper echelon.
Yes. But which Caitlyn definitely does
speak to her character that she's like that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely just trying to show us from the beginning she was a good one. You know,
she was always going to go her own way.
And basically, she's not a spoiled child. She's not entitled. She's not about that vibe. No, that's not who Caitlyn is.
No. She's grounded. She's so down to earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a phrase
she's
that
just like us.
I feel like it's lost all meaning, that phrase, because
It just makes me think of how people are like celebrities. They're just
they're
like
so
us.
grounded.
I'm like,
yeah,
of course they are, but they
Yeah.
just like have a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, they're a normal person. So then there's like this nice little monologue from Grayson where she's talking about being an enforcer for her means protecting people, and that's like enough of a trophy. It was actually like a really sweet line.
Yeah.
I really like Grayson, and it's just gone too soon, Grayson. You were such a good one.
Yeah.
Her and Vander were like the dynamic duo, and the world is just like so much worse without them. But it was really cool that Caitlyn specifically got to have this moment with Grayson, because I think that is why Caitlyn is the way she is as an enforcer. 100%. She was very influenced by this conversation. Yeah, by this conversation, it really was like influential in her life.
She's like this incorruptible, incredible role model.
Yeah. And she is. We are team. Grayson. We're team Grayson for sure. So then we're back in like modern times.
The present day.
With my favorite couple, Kate Vi.
Oh, Kate Vi.
Kate Vi.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were talking about how your crush is Kate and my crush is Vi in the show. And I was like, how funny is that like the people we have crushes on in the show are
they end up together.
Yeah, I was like, you were like, what does that mean? I was like, just that we were always meant to be together. We like the same vibes.
The person
in the
I'm
opposite.
attracted to is attracted to the person you're attracted to.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so apparently there's like no record of Vi in this prison or her crimes. There's no record of her at all. Caitlyn's like, there's literally no trace of you in the prison records. And then Vi's like not being very helpful when Kate's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. She's just kind of like, oh yeah, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, she's like purposely being difficult because she's assuming that Kate is another dirty cop.
Yeah, which is a fair assumption.
A fair assumption, but we know obviously that isn't Caitlyn's vibe. So we're like, oh no, wait, you want to talk to Caitlyn?
Yeah.
So then, because Vi isn't being very helpful, Caitlyn goes to leave, and then Vi mentions Silco, something about give him a kiss on his
eye,
that winning
the winning
eye. Yeah.
I guess Silco must because no one sent. Silco doesn't know she's alive. So Silco can't have sent anyone.
No, Marcus is doing that shit?
Maybe.
Again, Marcus, you suck.
She's just, I guess because no one knows she's there, like whatever happens to her, no one ever finds out. Yeah, which is awful.
But the guards are like, I think it's because the guards, you're right.
Yeah.
There's
she
no
might,
reason. Silco
she might also, I
alive.
doubt she's a model prisoner.
So she thinks she's in there because of Silco. Because everyone does work for Silco, but then or is like Marcus and everyone that is working with him is dirty. But that actually is a good point, because she keeps going on about how Silco is like the reason everyone's. But supposedly Silco doesn't know.
It's just interesting that no prisoner, the prisoners not come and go, because she was in general population.
No,
prisoners that go in and come out, go into the prison and come out. Does everyone who goes there never come out?
Yeah, it's like Alcatraz. Where it's like a life sentence.
You think?
Type of vibe. Yeah.
I mean, that would explain the fact that the word hasn't gotten out to Silco yet.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can just. It's really unfortunate with prison. You can just lock someone away, and the world like does start to forget that.
Of course.
It's very sad. So when she hears Silco's name, Caitlyn's like, Silco the industrialist? And I was like, that's what they're calling him, the industrialist? Like, it's such a vague like title of just like someone that works in the industry.
Yeah, corporate man. He's got a business.
A businessman. Like, it's like, this is the...
He does industry things.
yeah. This is like Vaughn's version of like, a businessman.
Yep. Yep. Adultman.
So that cracked me up a little bit. But yeah, she's like, you're saying Silco? That's who you're talking about? And then she's like, sorry, to clarify, Caitlyn says, oh, Silco. And then Vi says, okay, you know what? This is like a bit boring. This is getting old. Can you just send whoever you're going to send down to like beat the shit out of me? And then I'll just get on with my day. And Caitlyn's a little like, oh shit. Yeah. Looks at the red line and then is like, should I risk stepping over this line? Cross the line,
yeah, she
Kate.
Does.
Cross the line.
She's such a line crosser.
Yeah, so she crosses
through
the line.
Line crosser, Caitlyn.
Crosses the line, moves closer to Vi, and shows in her little, what did I call it? I called it her little conspiracy notebook. She has like this little conspiracy notebook with all of her little notes trying
evidence,
to find out.
All her links.
This, like, what do they call, I can't remember what they call Jinx. The something that like something destructor of Zon or something. I can't remember the term.
I don't know.
But there's something that they're
Savior
calling.
Of Zon.
Not savior. It's something, just that whoever is making all this trouble, that they're like, they think it's all one specific person, and they're trying to find that person. So she lifts up her little conspiracy notebook. She shows Vi a photo of the monkey, like spray painted monkey face that Jinx likes to leave behind on all of her little heists or bombings, literally like bombings.
her terrorist attacks.
Literally,
We can't apologize for that too much.
No, it's literally leaving
obviously,
bombs.
Obviously you have to call it what it is, but obviously
yeah.
there's some kind of extenuating circumstance behind how she's ended up like this. But
but she is a loose cannon still at this point. She's all over the place. So
sometimes literally.
Sometimes literally.
Holding a loose cannon.
So then Vi sees this monkey and immediately is like up against the bars of her cell, like desperate to hear more about what's going on. So Kate's like, no. You got to answer my question first.
Yeah.
I need to find out what I need to know. Thank you.
And I'm going to tie this back to something that happens later between them.
Oh, yeah?
Because...
Wait,
I'll say it later.
Okay,
I'll hopefully remember. We'll see.
I was like, please remember, don't forget.
I won't forget.
Okay,
I won't forget.
So Caitlyn's like, answer my question about Silco first. And then Vi's like, everyone works for Silco. Hello. Yeah. Are you new here? Like... What do you mean? She's like, it's obvious. Everyone is like in his pocket, basically. And so then Caitlyn's like kind of hesitant because she's like, well, why should I trust you? Like, there's no way that I could trust someone like you. And Vi's like, someone like me?
Yeah.
What
do you mean someone like me?
Yeah. She's like, so that is like a good example of how they've both kind of been raised with this prejudice towards each other's kind. Yeah. But they need each other. Yeah. But it's Caitlyn that kind of takes the risk because obviously
crosses the line.
Vi is in prison.
And obviously you're going to do whatever you need to get out.
Yeah. So Caitlyn is like, whatever, I can't trust you, so I'm going to go do this on my own. And then Vi's like, good luck, the Undercity is going to eat you alive. And then Caitlyn like considers for a second, and then the next thing we see is her essentially petitioning for Vi's release. Yeah,
with her new authority as House Tarlis's head of security.
She's a part of Jayce's team
now. The entourage.
And now Jayce is a councilman, and that's literally why she gets released.
Yeah.
Because Caitlyn's like, Councilman Talis wanted her released.
An executive pardon.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Even though, again... They don't even know why she's in there.
No, they don't know who she is, why she's there.
They just don't care. And then we find out...
beating on her for whatever reason.
Yeah, which we literally hear. They do that quite a lot. Yeah. And Kate is like, again, it's a moment where we see how good of a person Kate is. Because she's like, how many chats have you had with her at this point? And the guard's like, I never thought to count. So then Kate's like, okay, I need to get this woman out of here.
Yeah.
So then... she's out. She gets Vi release. And then cue intro, which again is the song that is the title of the theme song and also this episode. So pretty cool. After our lovely intro, we get what is essentially like a 21 gun salute from like Marcus and the Enforcer squad for these, I think it's six enforcers that unfortunately died in this literally like a terrorist attack, basically. The bombing. So they're giving this, he's giving this speech for the fallen enforcers. It's pretty much like a tip, what you would imagine a speech from Marcus would be. Yeah, he's just like, they sacrificed their lives, blah, blah, blah.
It's boilerplate, like, da-da-da-da-da.
But Marcus does have a very adorable little redheaded daughter there who is like holding the little flowers and she's very cute. You can tell she is like very pure and sweet. And then, he's kind of like, as he's talking, looking at her, I'm guessing there's some like introspective thing going on for Marcus here that he's like, that could have been me.
Yes.
Like, my daughter would have been left alone, because I didn't write down exactly when, but we do find out that Marcus's wife has passed away. So we find that out at some point. So he is a single parent, basically, to this very cute little daughter. And then when the funeral is finished, he walks over to another area of the cemetery to kind of look at someone's grave, and it's actually Grayson's grave. Yeah. And his daughter's like, "Who is that, Daddy? Who is this?" And he's like, "A good woman."
Yeah, he knows. He knows she would be.
Yeah. And okay, we don't know for sure if Marcus knew. We still don't know. Did he not know at all that Grayson was gonna get hurt? Because when does he start?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember back.
He was just naive about it, but it's not really explicitly said what he knew. He knew that he had told Silco something to help him.
I think it's very clear that he has way more awareness of how difficult it was to be like the sheriff and he has way more insight at this point. Marcus, after this funeral, he goes and he's having a little chat with Silco, and he is not very happy.
Nope.
He's not happy with Jinx doing this. Obviously, he's lost the 6th officer, so he's really upset about that. And he's like, honestly, arresting this girl, Jinx, would like be doing you a favor at this point. But Silco's like, I'm going to give you this bomb. Yeah. And then you're going to say that the firelights did this. Yeah. And that's how we're going to cover this up. And Marcus is like, oh, yeah, that's great. That works great for you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
perfect.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then Silco's kind of like, you don't want to mess this up. We've got a good thing going here. But it's very clear that only Silco thinks that at this point, and he just keeps paying Marcus off. So not only does he give Marcus another bag of gold for himself.
Well, this is gold for the families, right?
No, I think he gives. Oh wait, maybe. I thought it was 2. Am I wrong?
I can't remember a second. Maybe there was, but I remember it's in this scene. He's giving him gold from a concern.
Yeah, he says. Yeah, he's like for the families from
citizen, right? Yeah,
unanimous.
Yeah.
Or not unanimous. Anonymous.
A unanimous source.
An anonymous.
That's quite similar words.
Dyslexia. That's literally a perfect example of my dyslexia in real time.
Is it in this scene he gives him the bomb? I thought that was later.
What does he give him then? Doesn't he
just the bag of money? And then
does he say? He just says blame the firelights. He definitely
just says we have maybe he just he doesn't give him the bomb yet though. I don't think. I think that's the latest scene.
So he just says the fire. He's like, oh yeah, the firelights. You saw the firelights were responsible for this. That's like who you're catching on to, basically. I just thought it was interesting that during this meeting, Jinx is not hiding in the ceiling.
No,
so
she's
maybe
not.
he like anticipated him saying he
Jinx
wanted
is
to
hard at work
arrest Jinx
on her stuff. Maybe
I think he's just protecting her from this situation. But anyway, that's enough in Zaun apparently, because then we're back in Piltover with our other favorite couple that isn't actually confirmed as a couple, Javik. So Jayce is trying to talk to Victor.
Once again, not actually confirmed is putting it so late.
Yeah, but well,
such a stretch.
It's just annoying
already to say that.
I know. I think we're going to say that they are a couple in the end. In the hextech.
Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? Why not? You know.
It's so funny because Jayce is trying to talk to Victor about like his new like council stuff, and Victor just like does not give a shit. No. He does not care.
It's a world that Victor just hates.
He's like, I don't have time for this. I'm like actually trying to help people right now. And then Jayce like kind of feels guilty because he's like, oh, are you still like mad about my speech and how I didn't like tell you what I was gonna do?
How I made you crank the thing.
You guys, I was talking to Michael about this later.
Even though you're like crippled,
I was so
sick.
He didn't need to be there. Victor could have like had the night off. I was like, you didn't even tell him that you were like debating. I was so annoyed about that later when I was like thinking about it after we watched the episode. I was like, he could have just like given him a heads up. He physically didn't even need to be there then.
Victor probably transported all of that stuff himself.
Yeah, it just was like Jayce
set it all up.
Say, I don't know if we should announce this. Actually, I'm like 50-50 so that he at least knows. So yeah, he was like, I'm sorry about the speech. That's my bad. And we can just tell that like time is really pressing on Victor right now. He's like, we gotta like figure this out now.
He's running out of time.
Yeah.
He's running out of time.
And so, basically as they're talking about that, Marcus shows up and then Jayce is kind of honestly, like a little rightfully so, because obviously we know what's going on with Marcus. Jayce is like laying into Marcus and he's like, there's some corruption in here and we got to weed it out. We got to root out this corruption and figure out what is going on and who's behind this.
Marcus
and we're like, yeah. I'm like, Marcus like wiping like sweat off his brow.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, oh no.
So then sure enough, Silco's puppet, Marcus brings up the firelights just as he was instructed to. He's like literally reading off a script. And then Victor like ends up coughing, but blood comes out. And this is the first time we've seen blood. Oh, no. There was a little bit of blood in the last episode, wasn't there? Do you remember when he coughed right before the speech?
Yeah.
He's like having like, he's having a nosebleed though. It's like worse. His
body intense. Is just.
Yeah.
Breaking down.
He's not doing well.
No.
So then Victor is like the way where he's positioned, he's kind of like over the hex gates. And so then when he starts coughing and he gets like a little dizzy, there's like a response from the hex gates, like responding to, we didn't know what it was at the time, but later we realized it's responding to his blood. Literally his blood.
His blood.
So then Jayce notices that something is like not quite right with Victor. And so then what?
I don't think even Jayce is
oblivious
or obtuse enough to not notice when there's blood coming out.
Well, even then, it was so funny.
There's blood all over the banister.
Oh my God, yeah. But it was so funny because he still was kind of like, are you okay?
He was still like,
there's
are you okay?
Literally like
and then Victor's like, yeah. And Jayce is like, oh, cool.
Yeah, Jayce lets him leave. I was like, Jayce, you got to start being a little bit more like insistent with your BFF / partner.
Victor's like, oh yeah, just a migraine or something.
No, yeah, he's like, oh, a headache, and then he's like, I have to go to the lab.
Yeah,
so he like excuses himself.
Jayce is like, oh, does blood normally stream from your face when you have a migraine?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it does, and maybe that's just where they've got to. Like that, Jayce is so not surprised by it.
I don't think we're supposed to believe that, but I think it's clear that like Jayce has learned that sometimes he needs to give Victor space. But I'm like, I think in this situation you have to be a little bit more like, okay, dude, what is going on? Like you have to talk to me about this.
Like we need to talk. You are clearly feeling time pressure because of your health. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And also like don't be going and doing stuff that is too extreme just because of this. Please.
Don't become a cyborg, please.
We remember from the last episode, obviously, that Jinx stole a bunch of stuff from hextech.
Yeah.
She's not really impressed with Jayce's notes in the beginning. No. She's like, oh, so boring. I'm so bored. This is so awful and I'm just falling asleep. But then she's like, okay, now we're getting to the good stuff where like he's actually explaining it. He's going into like the math behind it, which like Jinx is a genius. So she's like, yeah, this all makes sense to me. I would look at that notebook and it would literally be like a different language. I would be
I thought she was saying the mathy stuff was all just boring. And that she was only interested in how to use it.
Well, I think that she was saying like maybe she was saying the boring bit that she was like this. I don't need all of this, but she does talk about. She's like, oh, okay, basically the mathy because she starts. It's a little spooky. She starts explaining to the Clagger and Milo mannequins like how it works.
Well, she must understand it as we learn.
No, she very clearly understands it. I think that's why she's like, just get to the point. But there was a point where she was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Well, I can totally buy Jayce being the type of scientist who's just like writing, well, I guess they all are, but it's just like writing everything down.
Well, remember like, he signed his every page of his notes
every page is like signs this, then he's on to the next one and like he could trim it down, but
basically she learns enough that she's like, I'm going to test it out right now, which like I called it like a little generator because I didn't know what else to call it.
She's made her own little version of the stabilizer thing.
Yes, yeah. Some little stabilizer
Victor and Jayce
machine.
Have.
Yeah. And then she tests it out, but then immediately, because of this blue gemstone reacting the way it does, it triggers her back into the memory of the explosion that killed Milo and Clagger and then kind of like by default led to Vander's demise as well. Yeah. And she thinks Vi. Also Vi's demise. Yeah. So she's like, it wasn't my fault, I think is what she said. Oh no, she says, no, it was a mistake. Yeah. She's like, no, it was a mistake. And then she kind of like rushes away off.
Well, she doesn't think it caused Vi's demise because she saw Vi.
No, but she thinks Vi's dead.
Does she think Vi's dead? I guess she does think Vi's dead, doesn't she? I was just like...
But I don't know. I think she just associates losing everyone with that night is what I'm trying to say. Like, everyone was gone after that night, and the only person she had was Silco. So once the reaction, like, stabilizes, that's when she's like, no, it was a mistake. And then there's a very intentional shot of the plush bunny, like stuffed animal bunny again. And I was like, the bunny has to represent powder, and that there is still powder in there. You said when we were watching it, you were like, powder coming to the surface.
Yeah, because it was like crackling with...
Yeah. And it just, her voice is different when she says, like, it was a mistake. Like, she does sometimes sound more like child powder.
It was very the same kind of energy as when the younger actor is saying that I only wanted to help. How she repeats
that kind of desperate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is confirmation that there's
something.
Powder is still in there somewhere, little powder, the powder that we remember and love. Mm-hmm. Pretty much immediately after this, we're back with Kate and Vi again. And I love this scene so much. It just is so satisfying to watch. So Caitlyn and Vi, they're venturing into the Undercity. Vi has clearly been committed to staying in shape, because as soon as there's like a moment where she takes it all in, and then she just like takes off. And Caitlyn's face is so fun. Caitlyn's like, she's literally like gooped. And so Caitlyn is trying to keep up with Vi, as Vi is literally just like parkouring into zombies. She's legit flipping, like parkour.
She's doing like flips that aren't necessary in the best possible way.
I swear the animators watched videos of parkouring.
Yeah,
to do like it is literally like parkour.
There's a video game called Mirror's Edge, and a lot of the shots, the first person shots of her free running and landing, are very, very reminiscent of that.
Just incredible.
It's very, very cool. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you are a very athletic person. I am not.
I mean,
seeing someone do that to me is, I'm like, wow, I would have to like work out for like months to get my body to be capable of just a little bit of that. So the fact that she has been in prison, it reminds me, I brought up Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Iroh is secretly like working out the whole time he's in prison. I was like, Vi and Iroh, they're the same. They were just like, you know what? I'm just going to get a little workout routine. There's a reason I'll be fine.
People go in and they come out all jacked, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah, no, I did have that thought.
You got nothing but time.
Like, you would just...
time.
Yeah, it would literally help pass the time, and also be like a fulfilling thing to get to do, because you literally, it's like instant gratification is when you get to do stuff like that. So there is this moment, like once she actually is like fully in zone, after she's finished her major parkouring.
the parkour,
she's standing.
As Caitlyn struggled.
Yeah. Well, it's not even, Caitlyn hasn't even come down yet.
No.
Like she beats Caitlyn. She's like so far ahead of Caitlyn. So there's this really beautiful shot of Vi standing up on this like, on a pipeline or something, looking down at the last drop and what it's become. And I think there's a part of her that obviously can tell it's like different, but I'm sure there is like a part of her that is like, okay, I'm back. Like I'm here again,
Home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not quite the same, but just obviously is going to bring back like positive memories for her. So then once she like jumps down from this little pipeline, there's these two, I just said like two punks, like they're just like punks hanging out in an alleyway.
They're punks. They're cyberpunks.
They are cyberpunks. Yeah. They're just like trying to size her up.
Yeah.
And he like kind of like flicks her hair, which like her hair, Vi's hair is adult Vi's hair is just the best. It's one of the best like drawings of hair. It's a very like anime hair, and I love it. It's so good. They're like sizing her up. They like flick her little flippy hair, and then she's like, "Oh, nice jacket." And then the guy's like, "Huh?" Yeah,
Don't expect that.
Then the next shot we see is of Caitlyn like crunched over, like
gasping
for air. And then we see
old man who was getting onto the bus or the rail or whatever it is coming past.
Yes, when we first saw them entering, about to enter Zon, there was an old man that is like, or is it an old person?
It's an old person.
I think it's a male.
A non-human variety
an elderly
of person.
Being.
An elderly being.
They, them.
I thought of Miriam Margolyes.
What?
An elderly being.
Oh, an elderly lesbian. That brilliant interview with her. Oh my God. Look up elderly lesbian.
Oh my God.
Iconic. She's so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this elderly being who was walking past like Caitlyn, and then they have also just made it down at the exact moment Caitlyn herself has made it down. It's very funny. Yep. Very funny moment. Yeah, and Kate is like, oh my God, you almost killed me. You almost got me killed. And then Vi throws Caitlyn the purple jacket that it was like a kind of like fish, spiky haired fish person was wearing.
Yep.
Takes the red one for herself.
Of course.
And then is like, my little sister could do that when she was 7. Everyone down here can scale that, no problem. Yeah. So I don't feel sorry for you. And then she's like, okay, let's go. Like basically
tough
just like
love.
Yeah. Literally just like walks past Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And Caitlyn doesn't really have any other option but to just continue following Vi. From here we go back to Victor and Jayce. There's a very quick little scene where again this like they're making it more and more clear that time is just pressing in on Victor. He's trying to find a way for hextech to like adapt and learn in the way that mages were able to get the magic to like adapt and develop. And
they were able to control it.
Yes, yeah.
They weren't limited by runes. They could just do what they wanted to do.
Yeah. And just like because magic. He was like, oh, it can learn. It made me think of like AI, how like AI can.
It is very develop. Reminiscent of an LLM, the way he's trying to get it to learn and adapt. But
yeah, but we can tell that he's kind of pushing the boundaries a bit.
Mm-hmm. They had the same exchange or a similar exchange to when Jayce says, "Do you know what you're doing? Or are you sure this is safe?" And Victor's like, "Of course not."
Yeah.
Whereas in the previous episodes, Jayce was like, it was like a fun, like, ooh,
not. He's going, he's pushing
here,
the boundaries.
It's got a much darker undertone now.
Yeah, it's like a desperate.
It's like, I don't know what this is going to do, but I need it to work. Like, I mean, I'm locked in like this. You know, seeing the code, like it has to work.
Yeah, and Jayce is concerned. Like it's pushing the boundaries more than Jayce feels like he should be doing. And he's like worried about his friend. Or lover. You know, who's to say? Well, we can't say that yet, I guess, because Mel is literally about to be his lover in a second here. So I should say his friend, his partner.
Lover.
But yeah, he's just clearly like risking it all because of his ailing health.
Yeah.
So we're back in the Undercity once again.
Zon.
Yeah, in Zon. Vi is eating some like I said it was like Undercity's take on ramen. That's what I was
it's seafood. With. It's seafood. Yeah. Tentacles.
Yeah, it's a very like vibrant colored thing. Caitlyn is not.
It's very aquatic, mutated fish.
Yeah, and the chef is like from the sea. It appears. So he's like a fishy guy.
He has big smile.
I mentioned
big
that.
Spiky teeth. He's like almost like a piranha man.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention that. So Kate is like, okay, come on. Why are you just sitting here eating? Like, you can't be stuffing your face when we need to find out this information about Silco. And Vi's like, because Caitlyn's like, that's why we're here. Like, we're here to find information about him. And Vi's like, we're here because I'm hungry. Okay, I need to fill my belly, and then we'll go from there.
Understandable. If you ever went to prison,
oh my gosh, yeah,
we're going to Chipotle as soon.
I would be at Chipotle immediately. Every time I go and visit Adam and RJ, they don't even ask. They literally pick me up from the airport and then they just immediately drive me to Chipotle. Yeah. Y'all are angels. Thank you. Y'all are real ones. So Caitlyn is very annoyed with her. She's like, oh my God, we're wasting time. But Vi knows what she's doing. She's very complimentary of this Zon ramen-esque meal.
Yes.
And then she's like just laying it on. I genuinely think she does like it. Like it's sincere. It's a sincere like, oh my God, I've missed this so much. You have no idea like how happy I am to have this again. It's so good. Just as good as I remember, or something like that. And then he slides her a little note. And then Vi like kind of looks at Caitlyn like, see, shut up. Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then Caitlyn's like, oh, okay.
You're in my house.
Yeah, exactly. And then as Vi is leaving, Caitlyn is standing there and she shares this moment with the fish guy, chef. And he just literally is like, I'll have a photo in it so you can see his grin is like hilarious. Yeah.
But it's funny because it actually looks like quite a sincere grin.
Yeah, he actually looks like a pretty nice guy.
It's not menacing. He just looks nice. He looks fun and like friendly. But because he's so intense looking.
Yeah, because he is like so scary
it's almost
looking.
Like the evil people from Tangled. vibes.
Yes,
I have a dream vibes.
Guys, yeah. What is it? The something duckling. What is that? There's
the bar entangled. I can't remember.
Something duckling.
The ugly duckling.
Is it ugly duckling?
I don't know.
The fuzzy duckling. I can't.
We'll look that up.
Fuzzy duckling. I can't remember. Again, they do a really good job of going back and forth pretty consistently. Like, if you have a scene in Zaun, you can typically guess the next scene is going to be back in Piltover.
Yeah.
We have a quick little bit at basically like the opera house, I'm guessing. There's like a solo. It's not a symphony, but like a instrumentalist is performing. And it's like a violinist / what instrument is that? A tuba?
So it's quite interesting. It looks like a violin, and it's got some kind of an attachment that looks kind of like a sousaphone, which is a tuba you wear around your body. But I think what it really most looks like is a violin, but with a gramophone attachment.
A gramophone.
You know how like the old fashioned. Yeah,
maybe it is just that.
Yeah, so it's almost like in this world, instead of like electronic amplification, they're still using that analog style of amplification,
which we do see an actual like.
Yes, because I even said in episode 1 they've got these giant horns.
Yeah.
As the alarm for the city, and it doesn't look electrical in any way. It's all just the shape of the horn. So maybe instead of amplifiers, that's what they have.
Are horns like steampunky? Like why?
I don't know. I guess it's just because they don't.
Kind of, I guess.
Well, I guess do they have electricity?
Because they're brass. It's brass wind. They have electric. Well, oh wait, no, because I guess I'm thinking of. No, it's the oil lamp, so maybe they don't have electricity.
No, like not.
I'm trying to. Oh no, but the last drop and stuff, the electric.
They have neons. They have. I don't know.
The neon lights. Yeah.
What is? I don't know, but yeah, they're not using electronic amplification.
Yeah, electronics.
They've got giant horns instead, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Lots of horns.
It's a nice touch.
Horns are apparently steampunk, y'all.
Yeah, apparently.
So they're at the opera house. There's a little performance going on from the soloist. Mel is like teaching Jayce about the different corruption that is happening within the council, basically. She's trying to fill him in on what he needs to be aware of. She's
giving him a Machiavellian masterclass.
She's basically taking him under her wing and trying to lead him in the right direction. But I think to benefit her, obviously, as well.
Which mutual.
That's fine.
Mutual benefits.
I don't think there's anything wrong with how Mel. I think the way Mel goes about things is very ethical. Like, I don't have a problem with how she's trying to like steer, because her intentions are good. She just also like wants to get something out of it. I think she very much sees her and Jayce is like accomplishing this together. They're going to be a team. She's going to help him. He's going to help her do things that she's always wanted to do. Yeah, they're going to be a power couple in her mind. Jinx has gone to the old arcade spot, and it seems like they haven't been there in quite a while. And she finds the target with like Milo's face on it that they always used to hit. Yeah. And then we actually hear Clagger's voice like in her head talking about like how she set up she kept fixing the stuff at the arcade and stuff. And then there is a crow that shows up. And I think we had a pretty long discussion about this in the reaction, didn't we? That I was like, what is the crow representing?
Yeah.
Is it her grief? Is it the death of all these people? Because the crow is significant. There's no way that crow is not significant.
Well, it's kind of like her animal in a way, because then we see it again later.
There's a bunch of connections with her and the crow in this season. I can't remember if there are any in season 2, but in season 1 specifically, there are a lot. And basically the crow comes up, is very noisy, kind of gets her attention, which is maybe that's why I thought it was grief, because it's like her grief is like kind of reaching out for some attention, because she's like kind of processing being back here.
Yeah.
But then she looks right at the crow and then basically just like shoots it.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, no, the crow got away, right?
Right in the face.
I was like, wishful thinking. No. And I don't know, to clarify, I don't know if it is a crow or a raven. I do know how to tell apart a crow and a raven in the real world.
Do tell.
But I don't know. So they have different tails, and a raven has like a slightly more intense beak. And then typically ravens are bigger. Ravens also, I'm pretty sure, mate for life. So if there are 2 ravens together, it's like a mated pair. Yeah.
I love when you talk about birds.
I know. I love birds.
Ornithologist.
Yeah. Birds, team bats.
Team bats.
But we support birds and bats equally.
Yeah.
But,
the day and the night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. But
bats come out and win. We don't need to get into that.
It could be a raven. Because ravens tend to be more significant and more associated with death and like transformation, rebirth, that type of thing.
I mean, when I was looking at, I was Googling it.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, they're both associated with very similar things.
Because they're just black birds.
Yeah, change, death, transformation.
Yeah.
Raven even more so with death because of the Raven.
Yeah. The
poem.
Yeah, by what's his name?
Nevermore.
What?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, I was like,
Edgar Allan Crow. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You immediately apologize. It's so funny too, because right after we watched that episode, there was a video on Instagram. I think I sent it to you, didn't I? Where it was like connecting. Well, I don't want to say. I'll wait till we see that other character. Later. It was connecting Jinx and 2 other characters to other animals, insects, like the significance of kind of what the meaning of those are, and it was fascinating. So I'll try and find that, or I'll bring that up when
it's relevant.
Yeah, when it's relevant, because I don't want to spoil it about. No. I just mean, I don't want to say it because we still haven't seen one of the characters that was included in that.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't. They haven't reappeared.
We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But I will bring it up when we talk about that. But yeah, I'm guessing it represents like her grief. That was what I was guessing. Just because she's so not willing to like go there yet. Like
there's a significance to it.
Yeah. And the fact that she shoots it is that she's just still like, she's not there yet.
Yeah, she can't face it.
Yeah. So after she just shoots this crow/raven, we don't know. She ends up fighting against the boxing machine that Vi used to fight with. While having some flashbacks. So we're seeing that she is kind of going through it while she is literally physically like letting out her rage on this machine. But unfortunately, she still is not able to beat Vi's high score.
Nope.
And she just ends up shooting the machine just like she shot the crow.
Of course.
And it's I should clarify, she shoots the target that has Milo's face on it as well. So I think that is that's saying a little something as well.
Yeah.
Once again, we return to Kate and Vi and what they're up to. They're above, kind of in that same spot, like on a some type of pipe line thing, looking down at the last drop. And then Caitlyn says something like, "Oh, the only thing in there is like a bunch of dead bodies." Or something.
That place has got some bodies.
Yeah. There's like some bodies buried.
Which is fair because it looks like that.
Yeah. It's got that
looks
vibe
seedy
now.
as heck.
Yeah, but this does set off Vi a bit, and she's like,
home.
"You don't." She's like, "You don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "You don't know shit, rich girl. You don't know what's going on here." But to be fair, I think Kate is kind of when Vi says stuff like that. I think there is a part of her that does like take it to heart a little bit. Like she's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, she's like clearly something was going on with her in this place. You know, she has some type of connection to this place. Maybe not now, but so it was so funny because the opera house was, to clarify, we go back to the opera house where this performer is. I think maybe just because the opera house is obviously like dark because it's a theater, I thought it was nighttime. And then it was like day. I was like, wait, what do you mean? It's nighttime in Piltover, but daytime in Zon. I was like, no, they're probably just at like a matinee. Yeah. And then they're just like socializing at the like they're not really watching the show. The counselors aren't really watching the show.
No,
they're like
they're doing deals. Yeah.
It's very like, if anyone watches The Gilded Age, I love that show. It's such like you go to the opera to be seen and to like chit chat with the other people that are rich, and you make deals with
status
them.
thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you're in your box. Yeah. You're in your box seat, and it's it's like how like sometimes like people that work in business will say like, oh, the real deals happen like when you go out to the bar, when you go out to dinner after work. That it's like you have to like try and be constantly not like working, but like just like trying to find an angle even when you're like at a what's considered a social event. So I was like, okay. Yikes.
But Yeah, yikes is how Jayce, that's how Jayce feels. Jayce is like, I don't want to do this shit. He's like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. You pushed me into this, Mel. You were the one that was like pushing me to become.
I'm a science man.
Yeah. No. You were the one that was pushing me to become a counselor. And Mel's like, okay, first off, you're like a symbol of the future. So like this was going to happen, or like you should be proud that this is like the direction you're moving in, because you can control like your future and your destiny and what's going to happen. I'll show you. Yeah, you have the power. Like, it's a good thing. Like, even though I know you don't really get it yet. So again, she's trying to like show him how to like cheat the system, basically. So she's like, everyone's like underestimating you, and you've already proved people wrong before, and like you're going to do it again. I'm going to help you. So there's this lady named Amara who comes in, who like, is she an investor? Is that like technically what she is? She's like a very powerful person.
Yeah, she's from a big house. Yeah, from a powerful
very influential.
House. Yeah.
And then Mel is like, "Oh, hello, welcome. Come into my box." And she's like, kind of like chatting her up. You can tell that they're on good terms, because we just saw her talking to the other counselors that we don't like as much. Yeah, but she's really friendly, and like her and Mel seem to have a lovely relationship. Yeah. So they're on good terms. But Amara is definitely not happy about these enforcers coming and like banging on her door that morning, because Jayce sent all the enforcers to like raid. Was it like a house raid? They were just trying to find
they're like
out
checking shipping stuff and trying to root out the corruption, trying to drain the swamp.
Yeah, right. They're trying to root out that corruption. So she wasn't happy about that. And Mel's like, oh yes, it was so sorry about that. I understand that was not ideal, but we had to present this front, that we're looking into everyone. We had to present it as everyone is getting looked into. But she was like, but now that he's here, now that Jayce is here, you can do a deal with him directly. Of course. That's why he's here. He's here to make sure everyone's taken care of. And Jayce is actually like really quick on the uptake. And he's like, hextech is looking for some partners, Miss Amara. And I'm going to give you like the first opportunity to join if you'd like to. And she's like, oh my, she loves it. She's like, how could I say no? Oh my gosh. Yeah, rolling out the red carpet for me.
Thank you.
She's loving it. So it works great. Mel is loving this because she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, wow. He's like already catching on. This is great. And that's basically what Mel's assistant / friend is. She's like, oh wow, he was quite the investment, wasn't he?
And Mel's like, ooh, yeah.
And then Mel's... No, wait. Let me say this before you move on.
Say it.
Because when I was watching it today, this is, I think, just neurodivergent people. We are just so literal. And so then because the performer was on the screen, to Michael, I was like, Mel invested in the performer.
Oh my God.
I was like the violinist. Because it was so, I was like so like genuine, like I was like genuinely thinking. I was like, oh, did she invest in him as the performer?
Wow, and she must have really liked how he sounded.
Yeah, she must be like a connoisseur of the arts. Yeah. And you were like, no, she's talking about Jayce. So I was like, oh.
She wants him to come into her box.
Michael.
Wait, did you not see me react when you said it earlier?
Oh no, I didn't. I missed it.
I was like,
I get too
then I
like
came back in it. Yeah, no,
I get too focused on.
I was waiting because
I
was waiting for that moment to hit you with it again.
I mean,
so I'm glad.
She does.
And she does.
Mel, you ain't wrong, girl.
It's about
fine.
to happen.
Mel, you get that. Mel.
Of course, they're a hot couple. They're a hot couple.
Power couple. She wants to be a power couple. So yeah, there's this lovely like cinematic shot where we're getting the crescendo of the violinist and Mel's all happy, and then like Jayce is going and winning over all the other counselors. It's very like what do you call it when the music is indicative of this very
crescendo?
Yeah, the crescendo.
Yeah, it's coming to the climax.
Yes, that it's like he's doing it. He's rising up the ranks. It's like representing how he's doing that. The symbolism with the music. And then there's this really cute shot, a couple of cute shots of Heimerdinger. Enjoy. Yeah, he's like, so cute. He's so cute. He would be at the opera.
He's a Renaissance man.
He is a Renaissance man.
Renaissance thing.
He's a Renaissance fan.
Renaissance fluffy boy.
Renaissance fluffy boy. Yeah.
We could all be so lucky.
So we leave the opera and we are back with our fave girls, Vi and Kate. They head down to a brothel because Vi knows that this is where all the secrets are spilled. She literally says that. She's like, this is where we're going to get all the info.
Pillow talk.
So this is where we do see that Caitlyn has been very sheltered. Even though she doesn't want to be sheltered, she has been. Because when she is walking through this brothel, she is visibly uncomfortable, but also a little curious. Because she's like, what?
Wide-eyed.
Yeah. When they walk past like the bubble scene, she's like oh, but then she like peeks and looks again. Yeah, she's very
eyes
curious.
On stalks, like.
Yeah. So Caitlyn's like, how are we gonna like find out any info here? And then Vi's like, just like pretend you work here, you know? Just be a courtesan. It's fine.
Just, you know.
And Caitlyn's like, oh my God, what? I will not do that. Oh my God, you know, very like, what do you mean? And then Vi's like, okay, I need to explain this to you. You're not going to get anything that you want from people without making them think that you have something that they want. That's what you need to do to like get information.
And here we are. Yeah. The moment where I said I was going to remember to say something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Back in their first interaction.
Yes.
In the prison.
Yes.
Wasn't going very well for Caitlyn because all she was doing was trying to get information out of Vi. It was only when she accidentally she showed Vi that she had something that
showed her the
Vi
thing about
wanted.
Jinx.
Information about powder. Yeah. It was only then when Vi started to open up a bit.
Yeah.
And started
because
to
she did have something.
Because she did have something that Vi wanted. So it's interesting that we see this advice playing out before it's actually given.
Yeah.
But Caitlyn did it completely accidentally because she didn't know. She didn't know she had something that Vi wanted because she didn't know that there was a connection between this monkey face. But I thought it was cool. Cool little
Caitlyn is very much, and I appreciate this from Caitlyn because I think I'm very much like a similar person to this. She is not, even if she could manipulate someone, she just would not want to do that. Like, it's just, she would not feel good doing that.
She's a pure spirit.
Yeah. Like I would just feel like the scum of the earth. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to say that maybe, you know, sometimes, obviously humans are like unintentionally manipulative sometimes. But I think Vi is much more of like a realist and Kate is very much just like, what's the word? Not naive. But a little bit like she's just
idealistic.
Like, idealistic. Yeah. That she's just like, oh no, but people shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but like
there's
Vi's
right
like,
and there's wrong. And
yes, and Vi's like, but you're not actually gonna get anywhere if you don't like try and play the game, girl. So Vi's like, you got to make them think you have something that they want. To which Caitlyn's like, well, what do I have that they want? And then there's this wonderful moment that I love watching every time where Vi does like a circle of Caitlyn and like blatantly checks her out and then is like, you're hot, Cupcake. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time we hear Cupcake, isn't it?
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
Which is funny because we met at a theatre called The Cupcake.
Oh my God, Michael, we did. I didn't even realize that. Yep. We met at Cupcake Theater when we were doing Into the Woods. But so Cupcake, we know, even though we don't play the games, is one of Vi's catchphrases in the game. Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know that. I think
Kieran told me that, or someone else told me. Yeah.
I think Kieran's been telling you secrets.
Thank you, Kieran. Oh. So she's like, you're hot, Cupcake. Just act like you work here. You can pick if you, doesn't she like give her an option? She's like, guys, girls.
Guy or girls.
Yeah, guys or girls, whichever you're attracted to. And then Vi ends up grabbing someone in a mask who's named
Pim.
Yeah, it auto-corrected it to Tim, and I was like, Pim. It was not Tim.
No. It was
Pim. And then introduces Caitlyn as Matilda. And then there's this amazing moment where Caitlyn does like a Cockney accent as Matilda. Are there Cockney people in Zaun?
Well, it's following like that kind of fantasy logic where somehow the fantasy world's dialects also resemble the real world dialects in terms of class.
Yeah.
And obviously people from all backgrounds can have different accents, but generally in the UK, working class people will have the Cockney accent as the stereotype, and posh people will have the posh accent, which is what Caitlyn has. And what
Caitlin's accent
has.
is very posh. Yeah,
so it was
her attempt at being.
It was
like,
her,
relatable.
yeah, and obviously Vanda had in the world you can explain it as an Undercity accent or whatever you want to.
Oh wait, no, he was.
Vanda
was
a more of a Cockney accent.
Was it like northernish his accent or no? Oh,
no.
Okay. Yes, this is more. I don't know the dialect.
Yeah, well,
but
we'll touch on it later.
He was Cockney.
No, Vanda was.
Yeah, okay, so there was someone there.
Because he was like a governor, like a Republican, yeah. But there's only one line in the whole show that sounds like it's from a northerner, and we'll get into that at the end of this.
Yeah. So Matilda, Caitlyn's playing Matilda, chatting with Pim, and then while Kate is doing that, Vi saunters into the madam's quarters and is like, "Oh, hey." And the madam is obviously very surprised
her ears are like...
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Vi. Unfortunately, we're back with Marcus and Silco again. Every scene with Marcus is just like, ugh.
See that mustache?
Yeah, I know. Michael hates his mustache. So Marcus and Silco are kind of like going at it again. Now Marcus is bringing up Jayce, and it's just basically everything is closing in on Marcus. He's really feeling the pressure. He's like, this new councilman Jayce is asking a bunch of questions now. How are we going to deal with this?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to
cover up?
Yeah, cover up this. Like
cover up what I've done.
He's going to figure it out.
The web, the tangled web is getting woven.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
Too much.
So you're correct. This is when Silco gives Marcus.
Okay. Yeah.
The bomb.
The monkey bomb.
It's not a monkey bomb. It's like the teeth one.
Oh, it's the yeah.
And he's just like continuing to push, pinning this whole thing on the firelights.
Yeah.
And then we get a moment of Marcus imagining himself being a hero for a moment, where he like pulls the trigger on the bomb, sacrifices himself, takes out Silco. But then it's the way they did it is really cool, because it's basically. It cuts to Silco saying like, "Oh, are you imagining yourself being a hero?"
Yeah.
And I didn't know, because when we first watched it, I was like, "Oh, well, that's that." But he doesn't do it. He does take the bomb and he goes. Yeah. So after he leaves, Jinx is up above again this time. Mm-hmm. So sometimes she is up there and other times he won't let her hide up above, apparently. Like, he does decide when she's there and when she's not there, apparently. So Silco's like, you need to keep weaponizing this hextech. He's like, he's faltering. He's like losing his nerve.
They might lose the connection with the Piltover, and if they do, they're gonna need this thing.
And Jinx is losing confidence, and she's like, just give it to the doctor. Just have the doctor do it. Not only is she losing confidence in figuring out hextech, but she's also struggling more with these like flashbacks, and she confesses it to Silco. And he's not empathetic, but he is like fear haunts us all child. So he's kind of like, yeah, we're all dealing with that.
Yeah.
You know? We're all being haunted.
We've all got our own.
Yeah, we've all got our own shit, which I'm like, I don't know how helpful that is.
Deal with it. Get on with it.
It's a very Silco response.
Suck it up. Suck it up.
It's not quite that, but it is like, well, everyone has pain.
Yeah,
like, it's
I guess.
Just like
it's like I'm right there with you. Like, you're preaching to the choir. Rather than suck it up. But because obviously Silco speaks in idioms, and he does. He speaks in like.
Those.
You know what I mean? Like by that, like that's how he speaks. Not like a normal person.
A little more grandiose than the average person. No.
Yeah. Loquacious.
Oh yeah, good word.
All right.
So we're back with Vi and the Madam. Do we get a name? I didn't get a name for her.
No.
I just called her the Madam
because
that's what she is. Apparently, some people have tried to stand up to Silco, or like did try to stand up to Silco, but he had all the money and he had all the muscle.
He had the goons. He had the goons and he had the boons.
He's got the goons and the boons, guys. That's all you need to succeed. See what I did there?
Yeah.
You rhymed, and then I rhymed off of your rhyme.
Yeah, wow. Power couple.
Yeah. Mel and Jayce too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I could never be as cool as Mel. Mel is way more of a power couple than me. We find out that things have changed a lot down here without Vander being there, or like Vander being around to look out for people. Vi asked about Powder immediately.
Of course.
So, like, obviously, her MO is trying to figure out what happened to Powder and where she is. She's like, I think Silco has her. But the madam doesn't know. So, like, does the madam genuinely just not think Powder is Jinx? Or do you think the madam does know and just doesn't?
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, we'll read it as sincere.
Yeah.
Because she does try to help Vi find Sevika, but she doesn't.
Maybe she just doesn't want to tell her that Powder is Jinx.
Because I'm like, who else has that color blue hair down here? Y'all?
Yeah.
But anyway, she does say that Silco's number 2 is a regular. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I can ask Miguel to tell you where you might be able to find her. And Vi's like, okay, cool, I owe you. But the madam's like, no, it's nothing. On her way out, though, Vi passes Caitlyn chatting to... It isn't a courtesan. It's a customer in a mask.
Customer.
Because the customers wear masks, apparently.
Yeah, sure.
To protect their identity, I guess.
Oh, and there was a little fluffy gimp.
Yeah, I was gonna say that made me think about like the person in a full gimp getup.
And it made me think like, well, what if that's Heimerdinger?
No, it's not. It isn't. But it's the same species as him.
It is. But what if it was Heimerdinger? Hey, let me have that. You're allowed your Deckard dad.
Deckard's daddy.
Let people have their JVICs. Let me believe that Heimerdinger is a little
gimp?
freak.
Oh my God. Why? But he doesn't. It's just because he has furry ears and he doesn't have an earring. And the guy had bald ears.
Okay, sure.
Doesn't have, or does have an earring.
Yeah, that's a that's a pretty big hole in my theory, I think.
Yeah. But Vi sees Caitlyn chatting with this woman. And she's pretty... As the Brits would say, she's pretty chuffed about this.
She's pretty chuffed.
Yeah, she's pretty excited. She has a little moment where she's like, oh, wow.
She's like, oh, wow. I underestimated you, Cupcake.
Who is that? It's Owen Wilson, isn't it? It's like, wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. It was like that, but like silently to herself. It was like the expression and everything. So, yeah, she's pretty excited about this. What?
Understandably.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
she hasn't got some in ever.
No,
maybe.
I don't know if she's ever got some.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We can assume that Vi thinks Caitlyn is attractive because she literally told her she's hot.
Sure.
So now we know that they're both
There's an attraction.
Yeah.
Vi to
we
Caitlyn.
know that Vi is interested in women, maybe women and men, but we know for sure that she
could be bi Vi.
Could be bi Vi.
Vi bi.
I love my bi Vi.
Vi bi ain't no line. Vi bi. That's gotta be. We gotta make
singing in every episode.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, the whole song is coming to me now.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we can definitely. It's confirmed that Vi at least thinks women are attractive, if not both women and men. And now we know that Caitlyn is also attracted to women. So everything's working out. Everything's working out for those of us that were shipping Kate and Vi from the beginning. Okay. So then we are back with Jayce and Mel. They're talking about their families, and there's this like very different experience with their families growing up. So Jayce has like a lot of pride in like the work that his dad did, and that he put this like their special type of hammer that they developed in the hands of the people. And then Mel's like, oh, like my family really only just like took things from people.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it really is
like
the House Tallis built over House Medada. Is it Medada?
Yeah.
Medada just sounds like they're warmongers. We don't know yet, but they take
conquerors,
conquistadors. Yeah.
So they're talking about their families, and then we see like a parallel, like what's happening at the same time with Victor during this. And he's like staying late to work on hextech. Sky is like trying to do a little flirty thing with him and like potentially walk home with him, but he's He is not into it at all.
He is burning. He's not burning the midnight oil. He is
it's been burned.
He has set it alight. There's none left. It's like, oh.
Yeah. So he's just like, I think it is meant to be he's oblivious. He's not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
He's just like, good night. Like, I'll see you later.
He's laser focused. There's only one thing he can even think about.
Right now. But then there's like this weird, he keeps working. It's not going well. So then he's becoming enraged. And then he has another moment where he gets like faint and like passes out. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Mel and Jayce are like getting it on. So they're about to have a very steamy night together. And then we cut back to Victor's blood getting sucked into the hextech. And there's like these pathways that the hextech begins building.
Yes.
Off of his blood.
Like a network.
Yes. It literally reminded me of like neuro pathways.
That's I mean, I think that's probably what it's supposed to be.
It's inspired by. And then while that's happening, simultaneously, Jayce and Mel are enjoying themselves very much. They're having a lovely little night.
Sheets are being gripped.
Yeah, sheets are being
broad
squeezed.
Backs are being
there's a broad back.
It's very tasteful.
It is. It was beautiful. And there's like really like epic music playing.
It's quite erotic.
It's erotic, but then it's also like disturbing because it's got like the blood, Victor's blood. So you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, you're kind of like, I feel a little conflicted about this. What's happening right
weird.
here?
It's weird.
But also it's just obviously the juxtaposition of like what's happening for Jayce and what's happening for Victor. Because Jayce is rising up and Victor is just... Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. That one. I walked into that one. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Oh, I hit the microphone. That's
fine.
So good.
Jayce's life is continuing
hammer.
to... No, stop. Don't make it worse.
Jayce's retractable hammer.
Jayce's life is continuing to get better and better.
Yes.
And Victor's life is like, just like falling apart before his eyes. His literal life.
Yeah.
Life energy, his life force. So then we are back at the river/lake. We don't really know. I think it's like a river, right? That runs through Piltover and Zon. Yeah. It's never really confirmed. So
there's a bridge. There's a bridge over something.
Yeah. So I'll say river. And he's basically talking about how he almost drowned here. And it's so funny. It's another like teenage daughter dad dynamic. Yeah. She's like, you told me so many times. Oh my God, I'm so bored of this dad. So
and I believe Silco's told her this story like every day.
Yeah.
This is the second time we're hearing it.
Yeah.
And like we've only been around Silco for a total
5 episodes.
Like half an hour of screen time total. So it's like
it's gotta be more than that at this point, right?
I mean maybe
not.
When you add it up, like it doesn't. Yeah, but whatever. Like not that much, and we've already had it twice. So,
but basically, he's like, I let a weak man die that day, and he like dunks his head, and then we didn't realize in the reaction we recorded, but when I was taking the notes today, there is some type of concealer that he has on his face that comes off when he like comes up out of the river.
Yeah, so. The area here,
there's
under his eye is much more red, and scarred, and it's the wrinkles from the burn
whatever that is,
aren't where like all the fat, where the skin's lost all of its elasticity, like it's more sunken, way more sunken.
So it does. He is kind of putting some type of concealer over that when he's out in public, like when people are coming to see him.
He's putting on a face.
Yeah, literally. He's got like a mask that he wears. So basically he's telling her that she needs to let Powder die. So fear won't control her anymore. He's like, Jinx is perfect. Yeah. And then he like baptizes her to let Powder die. And then we got another shot of a purple eye again. So what we deduced from this is that the water, there's some type of shimmer in the water, and that is what is
if we're taking it literally at face
with like
value,
that first scene that we saw in the last moment of that episode when she was a child still.
She falls into the water when she's blown out of the building.
Yeah, she falls into the water before
and then has purple eyes later. Here she's dunked in the water and then we see a purple eye. So is it like a microdose?
Yeah. Is that what's going on? Because I was like, they showed it again. It's obviously not her literal eye, but it was we just saw her eyes, and then the eye turns purple. So I'm assuming it's his eye. But that was interesting. I was very curious about that. And then it's the moment we get Imagine Dragons in Zaun. They are here. Vi walks directly past them. It's so cool. I love that they had them in universe. It was such a cool moment.
It's cool. They're jamming. Yeah. They're jamming as only Imagine Dragons can.
And then Vi finds Sevika.
Oh.
I just want to say Vi is such a like do now, ask questions later woman. Like she's always been that way since she was a kid, and she still is that way now. And Sevika even like makes a comment about it. But she's just so consistent. And when I said that, you were like, yeah, she's such a bulldog. And I love that. I just love that about Vi.
Yeah.
So Vi and these people down here are not the only people listening to Imagine Dragons, because Marcus is feeling very sorry for himself, and he's like listening to them over like a radio or something.
Yeah. They're doing a live show from the last drop.
Yeah. And then he ends up like throwing a glass and it breaks. And then Mel wakes up to discover that Jayce is left and she is in the bed all alone.
Yeah.
And I just want to say she looks so beautiful with her hair unbound. Oh my God. All around her on the pillow. I was like, Mel is literally like a goddess. There's this really cool shot though of Mel with her unbound hair in the bed, and then it transitions to Victor in the hospital bed, and Jayce is like next to him.
Thing. Yeah. So like she had tuberculosis or something.
Yeah, was it or polio was.
Yeah, because that was with the leg, and now it's like some breathing and blood coming out. Like it's very undefined.
It's like something is attacking his body.
And
when Victor wakes up, Jayce is like, I just talked to the doctor. He like doesn't really know what to say, and Victor is just like, just tell me how much time I have.
And then it cuts away.
Back to Sevika playing cards, and the cards that she lays down are Death and the Magician. And we were like,
appropriate.
And this is the stuff that I love. Obviously, like, is like a fan of Arcane, I love. But is it like a filmmaker? This is the shit that I live for. And just like as a general fan of just storytelling in general.
It's cool.
Like these moments are always so cool when you can see it. Because when you go back and watch it, obviously, we had that moment today where we were like, we've watched the show how many times? But we were like...
Yeah. So it's such an intentional choice that I'm like, how did we not?
And you wouldn't have put it together before. I guess if you played the games, you would, because you know what like Victor's final form is. But you wouldn't put that together, that is representative of what he is going to become. But it's just so good when you do a rewatch to see details like that. So she lays down her cards, and then she's like, oh, rotten luck, boys. And she goes to like take her winnings. And then the most epic shot of Vi kneeing Sevika in the jaw.
Good.
Yeah, it's right down here.
So good.
It's iconic. It's incredible. It's so good. You said
So the flying knee hits her in the face, and Vi looks like Captain Falcon, who is a character from Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Famously for his Falcon Punch, which you may have heard of.
Well, you showed me.
Falcon Punch.
I hadn't heard of it
But
before.
no, so that's his most famous one. This is less known, but still very famous Falcon Knee. That has the same animation. I really think that
it is the same.
I think that they knew if anyone can.
Well, they probably were like, "Oh, that looks so accurate to what we want to create." That they used it as like
Vi
a reference.
is kind of like, if anyone can like give me any evidence that they knew.
I feel like Kieran would know.
I feel like
Kieran,
maybe
know.
Kieran plays Captain Falcon very well. He destroys me. But I feel like they must have known, because it's so. She's even doing like the elbows.
Yeah, she had one elbow.
One elbow.
Right? Yeah,
She's even doing it's. Maybe I'm just obsessed with Super Smash, but anyway, with Smash Bros. So
Sevika gets the shit kneed out of her face, basically, by Vi. But then we said when Sevika sees Vi, I don't know if I could go as far to say she is like relieved to see her or anything like that, but there was like a tenderness and like genuine surprise in her voice. Like she wasn't like, shit. She did get ready to like square up immediately.
Yeah,
because Vi was coming at her.
Vi had kneed her in the face and was clearly ready to fight her.
Yeah, but there was like some tenderness in Sevika's voice.
It's
that she was
very
like,
clear
when
choice
she said
to not,
Vi.
Yeah, to not have it just be.
Yeah, like
it was
like rage, basically.
Yeah, it was a bit of regret.
Yeah. But then they do just like start duking it out like immediately. And Vi calls Sevika a filthy traitor. Sevika's like, Vander had his chance. And then that's when we get the epic reveal of Sevika's super badass mechanical shimmer arm, which obviously Vi is like a little surprised to see because she doesn't know what's happening on the streets with shimmer. And then they just like have a pretty epic fight, which Vi really holds her own.
Yeah.
100% Vi is the child of Vander because she's able to hold her own against like a shimmer
robot arm.
Yeah, a robot arm, shimmer induced.
Yeah.
Very buff person as well. You know what I mean? Like Yeah.
On a prison diet.
And then on a prison diet.
Yeah.
And then Sevika's like, I see that you still haven't learned patience. And I did say, I was like, you know what, that's true. She's not wrong.
Well, she shouldn't have fought Sevika now. She should have waited and followed her, la, 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 la. But yeah, she doesn't have patience.
No.
Because she sees this person who she hates has been processing her face in prison, imagining what she's going to do.
Yeah.
And maybe she's practiced that knee a million times against the wall.
Yeah,
she's
not just
like
the fist.
launched
the knees are
herself
going into
the wall practicing that knee. I mean,
So they both get a decent amount of good hits in. But Sevika does end up getting like pinned under Vi after Vi literally drop kicks her through a wall.
Yep.
And then immediately Vi's questioning her about powder. Sevika reveals that she goes by Jinx now. She's like, you mean Jinx? She works for him. She's like his daughter. This is like earth shattering for Vi to find out. And then Sevika uses this moment while she is very like stunned and distracted to stab her in the gut. And then Sevika like says like, I'll give her your regards or something like that. And basically like is about to kill Vi. But thankfully Caitlyn shows up. Of course, we know Caitlyn is an excellent shot, which is exactly what she says to Vi after Sevika, she like chases Sevika off basically by shooting.
Yeah, not intentionally not killing her.
Yes, which we talked about.
Yes.
Neither Vi or Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mean, Vi
like
needed
actually
information.
try to go for a killing, but I guess she was stunned, so she didn't really. But yeah, I don't think either of them are ever really going in like for the kill. They're just like
no.
Yeah, coming in hot to fight and
Coming in hot,
to shoot.
Vi didn't kill the goon. The bald goon just broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
After like Sevika runs away, Vi's like, "Oh, you let her get away," and Caitlin's like, "That's not my fault." Like, what are you? That's because of you. What are you talking about?
You attacked her.
Yeah, and Vi's like, "Well, now Silco's gonna know, But Vi's like, "That's on you. That's not on me."
And it is.
And so.
And it is.
But Vi's like, "You're an all right shot, And Caitlyn corrects her, and she's like, "I am an excellent shot, actually."
Know your worth.
And she also, know your worth. That's right, Caitlyn. Know what you bring to the table, ladies.
Yep.
But there was a moment where Caitlyn was like, "Do you ever just say thank you, Vi? Do you ever just say thank you?" After she like saved her from Sevika. But then we get another cupcake from Vi. She's like, like. What is it? Help me up, cupcake.
Help me up, cupcake.
Yeah, help me up, cupcake.
And Caitlyn's like, don't call me cupcake.
My name is Caitlyn.
My name's Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And then Vi's like, but you're so sweet.
Like a cupcake.
Like a cupcake.
And Caitlyn's like, shut up.
Caitlyn's like, bleh. But she loves it, really.
So they walk off to, Vi literally is.
They walk off into the sunset and live happily ever after.
No, I wish. Not yet. No, she's been stabbed. So I'm assuming trying to find a place that they can get her some help. Yet. So we get a shot of Jinx, who has pretty much succeeded in weaponizing these hextech gemstones. And then she's using the crow feathers as bookmarks. And then also the bunny has been tacked up to the wall.
Just had the thought that, I don't know why I'm whispering into the microphone.
What?
She has using the crow feathers as bookmarks is symbolic of her accepting the change from powder into Jinx. Mm-hmm. Whereas once she would want to shoot, I'm going to stop. Whereas once she wanted to like shoot the crow, now she's using something. There's something there. It's intentional.
The feathers of the crow that she killed. Though.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's something there.
It's still the bunny and the crow are still being used intentionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
The symbolism of those things. So then we're back in Silco's little office lair area. Sevika's making her way up there to tell him he's looking at himself in the compact mirror dabbing on probably the concealer over his scars again.
Arguably a hypocritical thing to do.
Well, just, he's trying to control how he's seen still in some way.
Yes, which obviously you can do whatever you want with your own face.
Sure.
But after he's given this big speech about accepting who you are now.
Yeah.
It's a very intentional choice to show him immediately
trying
putting
to cover
it all back
up
on.
his own. Yeah. A little contradictory. And we were like, that's so crazy we didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Like we had no idea.
Yeah.
So he sees Sevika coming in the compact, and he's like, "You're making a mess," because she's like bleeding and
kind of bleeding all over my
purple
office.
everywhere. And then Sevika says, "The sister, she's back," and he slams the compact shut, and he goes, "From the dead,
from the dead."
From the dead.
And he suddenly becomes a different man.
I love it though, because I love his. This is the first time we've seen him that shocked.
Yes.
He is.
He
is pressed, girl.
Yes.
He is concerned.
And that's what it actually kind of ties into.
His eyes are bulging, but his blue eye is really bulging. He's like.
So I'm having a realization in this moment. I was laughing at that line, "From the dead." Because it literally sounds like a different man.
Yeah,
like
different
he's
accent.
he's a northerner, he's from the West Country, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing maybe that's a really genius, intentional choice by either the actor or the writers, because he's putting on this front, literally. He's putting on this front, literally, with this makeup.
Yeah.
Right.
And this like part that he's kind
putting
of
on
plays.
This part, this way he's speaking is all so heightened and planned.
Yeah, it's like such a performance.
Such a performance. Yeah. In this moment, we see behind that, and we hear his real voice, and it's "from the dead," like
from the dead,
from the dead.
Yeah.
And it makes me excited to watch him, to listen to him now when we eventually see him in prequels.
Yeah.
Or flashbacks, I should say, because I'm like, maybe that will carry over. Yeah, maybe that slightly different voice.
Yeah, I mean, Silco is like a fascinating character.
Oh,
again,
it's
it's
so
like
cool.
It's like the villains that they will still try and humanize.
Maybe once again, I'm reading too much into it, and maybe it was just the way the actor delivered the line, but still. It's amazing.
Great. It's a great line delivery.
It's my favorite Silco line.
And I think it's my favorite way that like an episode. Well, no, the last one was pretty good too when we get the reveal of Vi being like, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah, that's pretty good too. Yeah.
This one, I think the first time we watched it and every time we've seen it since, we both have such a strong reaction.
From the dead.
From the dead.
From the dead.
And that's it. That is the end of episode 5.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
A bit long, but.
It's okay. There's so much in this episode.
There's so much, yeah.
There's so much in all the episodes.
Yeah.
You know, you can watch it at double speed if you want.
Yeah.
We won't judge you.
Speed it up. Yeah.
Speed it up. We'll just start talking twice.
Oh, no.
No. Can you imagine?
No.
What am I doing? That was episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovers of lore. We'll be back with episode 6 pretty soon.
We will. A week from today.
All right, and we'll also maybe be back with a bye, or
bye, bye.
bye. There's something there. All right, watch this space, lovers of lore. Bye. Bye.